Hi everyone, Adam here and welcome to part 2 of Winning a Regatta. So last week I just went through a few general top tips and considerations when taking part in a regatta as opposed to a single one-off race. And today we're just going to join just after the start as I take you around the race course and go through my thought process as I was taking part in the race. Enjoy! Now I check around me off the start line to check when I can tack and see if I've got any dangers coming off the start, because early on the key thing I'm thinking about here is avoiding penalties. So keeping clean air, avoiding penalties and tacking on the shifts. I do want to, where possible, stay in the pressure as well, and you'll see in this particular race I don't do that fantastically well up the first beat, but ideally you want to be on the correct shift, in pressure, avoiding penalties. That's the top tips going up the first beat and the thought process in my head. Here I've got stuck out in the middle of the course slightly, but I am on the favoured tack because I can tell that from the wind indicators in the top left, showing that I'm on a slight port lift. So part of my thought process is working out, but it's not always ideal. So yeah, up the first beat, avoid early penalties, keep clean air where possible, tack on the shifts, and where you can, try and get into the pressure and stay in the pressure. So here you'll see I've got a few boats coming up, a bit of danger, so I'm just going to be sensible, tack here and avoid taking any penalties. I chose not to bear off behind those boats there, just simply because I think it would have took me way past delay line, and yeah, I'd have sailed more distance than I needed to, because I'd have had to duck that boat and the next boat as well. But the key thing there, yeah, just avoiding any penalties, because that would really knock you down the fleet at this stage in the race. So before we head to the downwind, I am looking upwind and on the screen to see where the pressure is. So I can already see coming around this mark, again, avoiding penalties, that the pressure is on the side of the course, on the if I put on starboard basically. So if I keep the kite up and carry on, I'm in the good pressure. I can tell that from the top left and from looking up here. So I head downwind, keeping in the pressure. Downwind, I'm thinking about, yeah, keeping the pressure, also keeping clean air. So I don't want boats taking my air to windward, because that will really slow me down. So one thing I do is I always try and jibe before the ley line. I don't wait for the ley line, because if someone decides to jibe on top of me, I've then got the option to jibe back if I need to. So don't wait for the ley lines, because you're boxing yourself into a certain position. So you'll see here I've got some bad air on top of me in a minute, so I might jibe off and then jibe back. You also need to think about where the mark you're going round downwind. This is so important, and I actually get it wrong in this race, so I should carry on and go for that mark. For some reason, I choose the one that's further away and further downwind. So that was a real bad decision there, and that's cost me some positions. So it's really important to look as you're going downwind, which mark is further upwind, and sometimes you have to make a call late on, and that was the wrong call I made there. But really important you pick the right mark. Up the second beat, there's still positions to be made here. If you're in a good position, it's about protecting your position coming upwind. If you're in a bad position, it's about taking risks. I'm in a fairly decent position here, 5th or 6th, so I'm just going to protect and get a solid result here. So I'm going to tack onto this boat. What that does is that will give them bad air and yeah, just put them further behind me going down the final downwind leg. So again, up the second beat, similar thought process, trying to stay on the right shifts, trying to keep in the pressure, but I'm mainly trying to keep in between the boats behind me and the next mark, protect this good sort of top 5 or 6 position for this first race, and just get that solid race in, and then also start thinking about what opportunities can be down the final leg, because I always find the final leg is a really interesting one where you don't think you can make many positions, but you can take the odd position. So yeah, second beat is all about consolidation, staying in between the boats behind you and the next mark. So as we come down to this final leg, I've got a boat to windward of me, so I'm just going to put them into a bit of a bad position there to stretch my distance there. A bit of a cheeky tactic, but it's a tactic that works. So coming down this last leg, I'm going to hoist the kite, making sure I still think about the last leg, keeping my air clean, keeping in the pressure. So I'm going to look behind me, air's clean there, and the pressure is on this side of the course. So I'm going to carry on heading down here. The key thing down this one, as well as those two things, is to make sure here you can make some good positions by actually aiming for the right end of the finish line. So I'm keeping in the pressure, I'm keeping my air clean, but I'm also thinking about how I can make up maybe an extra position. I think I was in 5th coming around that last mark, and I think 4th's a possibility here. So air's still clean, and just really thinking about which end of the line is going to be best for me here, and it'd be surprising how many positions you can make up or lose here. So the red boat's just jibed, still probably marginally ahead of me, but I think the right hand side as we're looking at it is closer to me, so I'm going to jibe and head for that end because I think this is further upwind, this is the closer point. The red boat has decided to go to the other end of the line, and I think that's going to cost him a position or even 2. So yeah, I've finished there in 4th, snuck a position by choosing the right end of the finish line, and the red boat actually slipped back to 6th in this race because the yellow boat behind got past him as well by going for the same end as me. So yeah, down that final leg, install those same tactics as normal, keeping in the pressure, keeping your air clean, but really think about that finish line and which end of that finish line is biased, so which end of that finish line you want to head to. So that's it for this week. So that wasn't my best race, but it was a solid race, which is what you want early on in a regatta. As you get further into a regatta, you can take more risks because you can, if you've got some solid results in the bank, you can always discard them. If you take those risks and you get some bad results at the start, you really get knocked down the fleet. So yeah, think about some solid results to start with and then get more tactical as the race goes on. So that was just a quick run through and my brain dump of what I think is useful when doing a regatta. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you like the content we're pushing out at the minute, please like the video. Please add in any other comments and tips you want to share with people on the video. And please do like and subscribe to the RYA YouTube channel. Thanks everyone, speak to you soon.